Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. It is your girl OG Chizzy Beats and I am back with another video. I know, back-to-back videos in 2 weeks. We are doing groundbreaking stuff on this channel. But anyways, in this video, I have been binging the Don Toliver album, The Life of a Don, and the sonics on that album, the production, it's just chef's kiss. So because of that, I have been binging this one song in particular called Double Standard, and I'm going to frame this video about how I would interpret that and kind of make a song similar to that. So if you're interested in watching everything I process, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment, and let's go ahead and get into the cookup. Okay, y'all, so like I said, Double Standard is one of my favorite songs on that album. And when I first listened to the album, I was like, when I first listened to the song, I was like, I already know what sample this is. This is definitely The Crossroads by Bone Thugs and Harmony. Later found out I was completely wrong.
Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not embarrassed? This is really embarrassing.
So there was that. But what I did notice is that the Crossroads sample and the sample that's actually in the song Double Standard sound very similar. And I knew right away that I would be able to flip the Crossroads. So that's what I went ahead and did. So I know the song pretty well. Some of y'all might have not heard the song. So I'll play a little section of it for you guys. But basically what I did to get my sample is I set it to the correct tempo of 144 and I just started chopping. I have a more in-depth video on how I do this on my channel, so I'll go ahead and like leave a card somewhere. But basically what I did was get those chops, turn the tempo down to 126 and turn down the sample 300 cents. So I chopped up quite a bit, like maybe 4 or 5 pieces, and this is the chorus, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this for you guys. This is what it sounds like. So there's that. This is part of the intro. This is another part of the song. This is part of the verse. And then this is an ad lib. Okay, so what I did with those samples is that I put them on a channel rack and I put on Parametric EQ just to cut out a lot of the low end. Then I put on this VST called Origin by Cymatics. It's free and it's basically a resampling plugin. So I turned it down to 1400. I'm going to turn this down to 0. This is just adding like vinyl to this. Turn down the movement to 24% and without the effects, this is what the sample sounds like. And with the effects, this is what it sounds like. So really the whole point for me was to take out a lot of the bass so I have room to add chords. So once I had my sample figured out, what I wanted to do was add chords. So to do that, I just opened up FL Keys and I listened to the sample, figured out the sample was in the key of C sharp major, and that made it so much easier for me to build my chords. And I just built them by ear, just by putting down one note, seeing if it matched, and then once it matched, building out the rest of this chord by using some chord theory, or you can just literally do it by ear. Click a note. If it sounds good, you're good. If it doesn't, fix it. So this is the chord progression I came up with. So once I had that, I decided to go ahead and take this, not use FL Keys, and layer it up with some other sounds. So the first sound that I used was this song called Fuzzy Toy Piano from Loner's new bank in Analog Lab called Layers. I really love this a lot. This is not a sponsored video. It's just a fire bank. And it's called, Fizzy Toy Piano. And this is what it sounds like. So yeah, sounds super cool. So this is what this chord progression sounds like on the piano. So yeah, super lush. I loved it a lot. Super cool. And what I decided to do was take the same chords and add it to a guitar also in that same bank called Hendrix. So this is what it sounds like. So yeah, a really cool sounding guitar. And what I just did was that I arpeggiated the chords. So basically just moving them over to form this kind of staircase, an ascending staircase, just to add some movement and body to the beat. And it's also very similar to what you might actually hear in the song Double Standards. So this is what it sounds like. So I love that sound so much. And all I did to this was that I added a parametric EQ to it to cut out some of the low end and the high end. And I also added wider to it just to give it a little bit more stereo imaging. So without the effects, this is what it sounds like. And with effects, it sounds like this. So very subtle, but it makes a difference to me. Okay, so all together with the piano layer and the guitar, this is what the beat sounds like. Okay, so the next thing I decided to do was to layer up the chords one more time by going into expand, and I built out this pad sound myself. So what I did is I actually stacked 3 pad layers together, one called basic sine pad, one called a recorder pad, and then one called rich chaos. And I took those same chords that I've already been using and I just extended them so now they're full and touching each other, so they're filling in some of that empty space that was there before. And this is what it sounds like. So yeah, I love how that sounds a lot. What I did was I just added a parametric EQ to cut out some of the low ends and the high ends. All right, so once I had that, I decided to add something to add some high end frequency to this. So I just took the chords and I went again back into analog, back into that layers bank, and I used this arpeggiator called Starry Night. And again, I just used the chords and I moved them over a little bit just to add some bounce. And this is what it sounds like. So yeah, super cool. What I added to that was that I just added a parametric EQ to cut out some of the low ends and boost the high end. And then I added a pancake to add some panning between the ears. So together with the other elements, this is what it sounds like. All right, so then once I had that, I decided to add a bass. So I went back into Analog Lab and pulled up this sound called Cardigan by Kill September. This is kind of like a very, if you listen to Don Toliver's music, you would recognize a bass like this. And it's called Cardigan, and Don Toliver has a song Cardigan, so I don't think it's by coincidence that it's named that way. But this is the type of bass that you would really like to have in a Don Toliver song. And I used this bass to come up with this bass line just to add some bounce to the beat. And this is what it sounds like. So yeah, I like that a lot. I think it adds a lot of great bounce to melody. And what I did was that I just added a parametric EQ just to boost some of the low end and actually cut out some of the high end. And I also used a respace by Loner. His kit is dope. I used the respace and I used the same notes. I just cut out the bounciness, and this is what it sounds like. So yeah, I really like that a lot. The only thing I did to this was add a parametric EQ just to cut out some of the very low end and cut out some of the high end. So together with the short cardigan bass, this is what the beat sounds like. And with the respace, this is what the beat sounds like. All right. And the last couple of melodic elements that I decided to add to this beat was the guitar solo that I felt like is very Mike Dean-ish. Mike Dean loves playing the guitar, and at the end of this song there's like a lead solo, so I tried to like kind of channel my inner Jimi Hendrix. And what the sound that I used was an expand. I used 3 guitars and I layered them up together, so the dynamic wah dirty 56 strat, the dirty guitar, the overdrive guitar, and stack those 3 together, and this is what it sounds like. So again, I kind of envisioned this as like a guitar solo, and this is the melody that I came up with. Yeah, so I really like how that sounds. The effects that I added to this was a parametric EQ just to cut out the low end and a little bit of the high end. And then I just added some reverb just to give it some more space. So with the other elements of the beat, this is what the guitar sounds like. And then the last element, melodic element that I added was, if you actually listen to the sample, you hear that there's a melodic element other than the people just rapping. Like there's this bell sound. I'm going to play it for you guys. So as you can see, I'm not playing the sample throughout the whole song, so I wanted to make sure I still have that bell sound whenever I need it. So I just basically copied it and made it sound like this using the soft vibra, again by Loner's Layers Bank. Is what it sounds like. And I also layered it up with the wavetable bell from Expand, and it sounds like this. So yeah, that is it in terms of all the melodic parts. For my drums, I kept it very simple, but I kept it simple because I listened to it and the drums weren't too crazy in double standard. So what I did was I used this kick from the Layers Bank, and this is what it sounds like. I made it very spaced out, just leaving space for Don or whoever to go crazy on it. And then I added a clap, well, really a snare as a clap. Then I added a hi-hat and just randomized the velocities a little bit. So just a basic 2-step hi-hat. And then I added some rolls with the hi-hat. So this is what it sounds like. And I actually added a open hat as well. So altogether, this is what the drums sound like. And this is what it sounds like with the chords and part of the sample. So yeah, that is the beat, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and let me know what you guys want to see from me in the future. I appreciate you guys so much, and I'm going to play this beat out for y'all, and I will see y'all in the next video.